Warm greetings of the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. Hope you all are having a safe Labor Day weekend, and happy Labor Day to all of you out there that celebrate the American holiday. And if not, still be safe. Hope you all enjoy your day off. Those who do not have to work tomorrow, God bless all of you. Stay safe. Yesterday, when I was out running errands, I decided to treat myself to a little lunch. And while I was dining, I couldn't even eat my food properly because I kept looking in the YouTube queue, just to keep myself from being bored while I was dining alone. And when I went into the YouTube queue, I saw a video, and this video is by Michelle After Dark. She's a YouTuber, so feel free to go over and check out her content. She has pretty good content. The title of her video is called All the Reasons Why Summer's Disappearance Was Planned. I listened to that while I dined, and she had a lot of great points. And one thing I've told you all in the stories that I spin on this network is that, one, you do not know people. Two, everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story. So at the beginning of this story pertaining to Summer Wells, the truth was there all along. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. The truth was there. And that's the reason why I always tell you all to listen to what a person is saying at the beginning of a story, because that is where your truth will lie. You won't need other confirmation of this, and this. Naturally, with true crime, people like to chop up everything that's being said, rumors, rhetoric from this person, that person. But in the beginning, you always go by what was said by the people involved in the story, because that is where the truth lies. This lady takes you on this trip through Google Maps pertaining to the video that Candace had uploaded to her social media platform. It shows two poles and like a makeshift shed or something in the background. Well, that was there all along because that was video she uploaded. Allegedly the day of June 15th, if we're to believe that this video actually took place on June 15th. And you'll see the two poles matching Google Photos, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, if indeed what the grandmother told on social media, that it was an hour and a half out where they were when they took that photograph, then that is a lie. Because if those poles on that street is near the house, then you couldn't have been an hour and a half out of the way if we're to believe the video. And that video being of that day of June 15th. And that is another thing that we have talked about on this network here. You don't have verification of anything. You don't have verification of what really happened on the 15th, where they all went, who they all talked to and saw, Candace, grandmother, the child, H. You don't have any verification of anything. You're listening to the version from the bio donor saying, this is what I did on this day. Then you have this friend, a young 15-year-old, giving his version of what happened that day and where they went that day. And then Candace disputes the order, not the actual events, but the order. Either way, it's still versions from people that you do not know. Excuse me. So like I said, if you are to believe that this video was taken on June 15th, an hour and a half out from being from the house, then the grandmother lied to whomever she was speaking to on Facebook about the video and about where they were at that time. Because if these poles are indeed on the same street or near street near the house, Ben Hill Road, then what she said about the video is a lie, that they were near the house that day. So now you have to ask yourselves, why would you lie? Two, was the child alive or deceased in the said video? Was this a concoction to have something to verify that the child was last seen with the mother? Because you always got to remember, no matter if this was a setup to get rid of the child to another person, discard the child for felonious reasons such as murder, you murdered the child deliberately, the child had an accident, you're selling the child, you're bartering with the child with somebody, loaning the child, whichever version you want to believe. In the end, perhaps this was a setup to have something to verify that the child was in custody with the mother and last seen with the mother, as to later be used as evidence that, yes, I had my child with me. I brought her home. And somewhere from the time I brought her home, she went missing on the compound, which most of us believe that is a lie. And I basically feel like what Michelle is saying in her commentary, the child never made it home. Now, many of you think the child made it home. She got lost, or she got taken, or there was an accident. So you don't really know what's the truth. Because allegedly, milk was seen in the car by H and Miss Allie. So this is somewhere in the afternoon, after 2 o'clock, let's say, from 2 to 2:45. So therefore, were they going to their house, coming from their house? What is the truth? You see, this is why I tell you, you could chop up things 1,000 ways. You could bring up stuff that you heard and seen 2 months ago, something that nobody paid attention to, because there's always something you're going to miss in a story. And due to the fact that these people have given us so much content with TikTok videos and Facebook pictures and Facebook posts, you have a lot to try to chop up. Anyway, you have a lot to chop up pertaining to the story. And there are going to be things you're going to overlook. And yes, it's been helpful with them talking to social media, talking to people on YouTube, this and that, to get what I'm trying to say, an idea of who these people are. But the sick part is that a child is missing. We don't know where she is. But the people who got her gone know. And 9 times out of 10, it is the parents. And I believe that. And I possibly believe that she never made it home. Because now what am I to think? You left Kingsport, went home, bringing groceries home. You're trying to hurry up and get that stuff home. It's warm. So if we're to believe these Google photos, what are we actually seeing in the video? What are we actually seeing? Hello, ACY. How you doing? We don't know anything. That's the whole purpose of this story. But my subject today is pertaining to the uploaded video and the 2 poles in the video, which is near the house. Were they on their way home, or were they coming from the house? Because then you have to ask yourself, what is the truth of the video? Why was she worrying about the hand? Was she telling the truth? At some point, I almost thought maybe she was telling the truth, that she wanted to capture a picture of the child mimicking the father or being like the father in the photo. But see, that's the thing. You don't know what's the truth because you're dealing with 2 diabolical people. And due to the fact that they've come up with this hoax of him being arrested, you can't believe anything that's been said to you since they reported the child missing. That is obvious. These 2 cannot be believed. They can't be believed. That's the said information today. I want to thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. Happy Labor Day weekend to all of you. And if I don't come back on tomorrow, happy Labor Day to all of you. But there's speculation now with this video being uploaded again. This one lady's channel I want you to check out. I want you to check out Dirty Laundry. I like her channel. She has some interesting commentary. And Michelle After Dark, she's the one that takes the drive, show you the photos and everything of the polls and the video. And it is something to think about. So then that throws off the timeline of everything. If we're to believe, hello everybody in the chat, if indeed she left Kingsport on her way home, you always have to remember everything's opposite as well in filming. So the grandmother is filming. Like I said, what is the truth pertaining to the video? On their way home or coming from the house? So that means you left Kingsport, you went home, you changed her, you didn't take the milk in, you came back out to discard the child, hand her over. Which is it? It's a very, very wicked story. It's a very wicked story. And several people have uploaded content pertaining to the grandmother, which she plays a pivotal role because she's also allegedly in the front seat of the car filming this video, alleged video. So, well, the grandmother's alleged to be in the car filming. We'll have to ask ourselves why she's not around. Why did she leave? This is only a 2-month-old story of a child disappearing. So we have to ask ourselves, why would the grandmother leave her child when her daughter has lost all her children? 3 of her children are in the state's care and her other child is missing. And some people are speculating that the grandmother knows more than what she's saying, that she knows about everything that happened on June 15th, everything that went down. She knows. So then we have to ask ourselves, what is the role that she played on June 15th if she does have knowledge that the child passed away on June 15th? What is the grandmother's role in this storyline? Hello, everybody. Thank you. Lord, Shay Doc, you still doing stuff? My goodness gracious. So, what is the truth? Yes, it is very horrible that she left. But one thing I've noticed, as I said, with the content that's been uploaded by a few YouTubers, the fact that grandmother's gone, possibly not coming back, the church, where is the church? Supportive, non-supportive. What is the deal? What do they think of them now? What do others think who've been supporting these two? Because now they've proven to themselves and the world that they cannot be believed, that they are, yes, as Dirty Laundry says, Candace is a dedicated liar. So that means she's a culprit in this farce pertaining to the child. Because if you will go and make up a lie that your husband has been arrested, then anything that you said beforehand, 9 times out of 10 was a lie. So now you have to dissect everything that she has said, if you choose to. Do you believe anything that Candace Bly has told the general public? The dispatch, the police, the FBI, the church, friends, associates, the news. You see where I'm going? You see, that is the whole point of a lie. You tell one, you have to continue to lie. That's the point of lying. That is the point of lying. It's that you have to tell another lie to cover the last lie that you told. And you will start to forget the lies that you told. Even the best of a liar will forget that he or she spun a lie number 12, number 82, because they will all start to intertwine with one another. That's common sense. It's just like a man being married to 6 or 7 women. And the 6 or 7 women don't know that he has 6 or 7 other wives. At some point, he's going to call Mary Susan and call Susan Jane. Do you see where I'm going? It's inevitable. So the point is, what was the deal with the video on the 15th? Were they near their house or not? Because as I state, if we're to believe that actual video took place on the 15th, and the grandmother is talking to someone on social media about how far she was away from the compound on the 15th when the video was uploaded, then the grandmother lied and didn't expect, as I've told you all, that you would go in, a random person, chopping up the content that they've uploaded to social media. And see, that is the reason why you're supposed to keep your mouth closed, you see, because you don't know what people are watching and seeing and digging up. And these 3, 4, 5, 6, however many are involved in this storyline, never thought that people are going to be searching through their TikTok videos, searching through their Facebook posts, searching through their Facebook pictures, digging up criminal records, anything pertaining to them, to then bring it back and question, hey, well, this doesn't look right here. So now we're 2 months in, and we have now people digging up, once again, the videos, tracking the Google Maps, of where they were versus the video and saying now, hey, ha, voila, you couldn't have been an hour away because this video was near the house. So how were you an hour and a half away if these poles are in vicinity of your compound? Which makes sense. And that's why I've said this 1,000 times, is that everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story. You don't need social media. You don't need people coming out testifying to this, this, and this. You go by what people have told you, and you go by what they've shown you. So we're judging these people according to what they've said, what they have not said, how they've reacted, not reacted, and their own social media pictures, videos, and Facebook posts, and also commentary on YouTube channels. They've told on themselves. They've told on themselves. That's a sad word. Thank you all for joining me. This is an open discussion. 9 times out of 10, it won't stay on the subject matter, because no matter how many times I put a title up in my videos, nobody tends to stick to the subject at hand. It always veers off into other things pertaining to the storyline. But that is one thing I wanted to discuss, was the video that perhaps the grandmother has spun a lie. So then we have to ask ourselves, what is her role pertaining to the disappearance of Summer Wells? Because if indeed she has lied about where she was when they took the video, then she is complicit as well in the disappearance of Summer Wells. So, grandmother, what do you know about the disappearance of your grandchild? Are you a party to this lie, ruse, death, murder? What do we say? Did Candace hand the child off to the father, met him somewhere? Because that's being speculated in a few people's content, that the child was taken to Don, and Don took the child and discarded the child. So what is the truth? So this is why I'm saying, no matter what you come up with, no matter how you dissect the story, there's always going to be speculations, because you don't know what is the truth. Because one, you don't know these people. Nobody knows what happened except for the people who got her gone. So you are never going to know the truth. I doubt that either one will fold. The only way these two would fold is if they are taken into custody and detectives tell them, we got this, this, and this, and you're not coming out of here. That is the only way one would fold. And you do have people who don't ever fold. Not ever. And why did they come up with this farce of him going to jail as well? I brought you content on that the other day. What was the point of all that? To show who what? To get back at whom for what? In the end, you're not hurting anybody but yourselves, and hurting the children that you claim you love and you want back. But you're not hurting Angela, and you're not hurting most people who are alive and woke. Because in the end, it doesn't matter. You made this decision to lie about your child, continuously lie to social media platforms, and now lie about somebody being taken off with authorities. And like some people have said in their content, such as Dirty Laundry, 9 times out of 10, Don was sitting there the whole time, coaxing her. She's belligerent, drunk, high, to call some woman and make up some crazy stuff. Why? And some of you are speculating this to get back at this person, to get back at Mary, Jeannie, Jenny, whoever. In the end, it doesn't even matter. There was no reason to make this up. And the next thing you have to ask yourselves is this. You're making up stories about somebody being arrested. Your child is missing. You have several agencies investigating the disappearance of your child. Now, you're not going to think, duh, what law enforcement is thinking of you making up this lie, because you know damn well they're going to come to you and ask you, why did you go on social media saying we whomever took your kid? I mean, took your husband. You think they're not going to ask that? Hey, we got wind of this video you've made. We want to know, not video, but you're going around telling people your husband's gone. So who are you speaking of? You know good and well law enforcement is going to ask that. Hey, who took your husband? Because it wasn't our agency. So Hawkins County Sheriff is going to say it wasn't us. TBI is going to say it wasn't us. The FBI is going to say it wasn't us. Any local police department is going to say it wasn't us. So, Candace, what are you going to tell them? You're going to tell them that you made this up because of what reason? Don made you do this. For what reason? You went along with it. For what reason? So now you know, 9 times out of 10, this is a lie, a farce. The man is not arrested. He's sitting right there in the holler looking at Candace Bly. They've concocted this rule, 1 or 2. Doesn't matter who did it. They're both in cahoots. So now you can stop pretending that Candace is oblivious to what's going on in the storyline. Because some of you have weighed on either side saying, well, I think she did it. I think he did it. Because most of you thought it was Don who was just the tag along and the mouthpiece. You always thought, some of you, it was Candace that hurt the child, harmed the child, covered up, blah, blah, blah. But now you see it doesn't even really matter. She's along for the ride. Thank you for the super chat, honey. Thank you so much. She went along for the ride. No matter what happened in the beginning, who hurt the child, harmed the child, deliberate, not deliberate. Even if it's an accident, if you hit the body, it's still abuse of a corpse. That is a crime in America. You now know she's complicit either way with this calling Mary and making up the story that he was taken into custody, then bringing in the cartel. So which was it? So now you see the drunken phone call syndrome, which H had relayed that in the video with Chris. This is what she does. So what are we to believe? Because like I told you all, when I listened to that content, I couldn't even tell what she was saying. So was Don taken by authorities or was he taken by the cartel? Who took him? Who were the actual men standing outside your door that night? Or was it just your imagination? So now I'm to believe what? You're drunk, belligerent, you're schizophrenic, or you have an alternate personality, Candace Bly. In the end, you probably will never know the truth pertaining to June 15th, the videos of the quarry, pictures of the quarry, videos of them being in the car with the child in the back with the milk jugs. You'll probably never get the truth. You'll continue to speculate about everything from the clothes she had on, cover up, to send her off with new people, cover up to maybe something damaged, body damage, assault to the body. So you'll never know. Hands appeared swollen. The right hand did appear swollen when you zoom in on that photograph. Looks like she has some bruising on her forehead. Something happened to Summer Wells. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you for joining me. Hello.
Hey, Miss Angie.
How you doing?
I'm so sick of this this story.
I know.
And the bad part about it is, like you said, you just worry about with the child. Is she alive or is she dead? Somebody just need to come out and say that. But when it first came out that Summer was missing, and they said that Candace followed the circus. I knew then something was wrong with her, because was she a sideshow or was she a helper? Then when this last call came out and she was crying, and I'm like, what are you saying? And she sounded like, I don't know what. And that only comes out of a person that's special in some sorts. I think that the whole thing, all of them need to be thrown in jail. Put them in jail for 30 days. Somebody's going to tell. The mom, the grandmom, Don, maybe a couple church members. I don't know. Hunter, all of them just the boys. They should be questioning the boys now, which I'm sure they probably are. We just don't know it. But I think I don't know. I think they just tried their best to make up something.
Well, let me ask you this before you go on. So somebody's in the chat talking. Yes, we know law enforcement don't have to tell us anything,
Right,
but the point
right.
remains. I keep telling you all. See, this is why I tell. This is why I know people don't listen to stuff
Right.
that's been said. If you're listening to a person spin a web, if they give you more than one version in the web, I don't have to have verification from law enforcement that he's in custody. If you spun the web that he was in handcuffs by law enforcement, then was it not said something about the cartel took him? Was that not said?
Yep.
Huh?
They said it.
Okay, so then it can't be both.
Right.
It can only be one or the other. I think you'll know the cartel versus the sheriff's department and or police or TBI. TBI is going to come with TBI on their jackets.
Right.
FBI is going to come with FBI on their jackets and a badge. The sheriff's department, you should know them by now because you all have dealt with them. Stay woke. So then that leaves the opposition. Random people coming to take your husband away in handcuffs. Trust me, if it was random people, cartel, whomever, they don't need any handcuffs.
Nope. Nope.
Go ahead.
I just think it's horrible because a child is involved. You're going to play your little games, try to cover up stuff, but in the long run, a child is missing. And to tell you the truth, what I'm seeing now with all these simple acting people, you wonder, if you go back, what really happened to her sister? What really happened to?
Well, they're speculating her husband. From the sources I brought, it is speculated by family and people that know the young lady, knew the young lady at that time, that it's the husband that possibly did it. And 9 times out of 10, it probably is.
Yeah.
Because it's just, as I tell people, I go by the stats. There's always the probability that it's a kidnapping or somebody she met, somebody watched her, somebody stalking, somebody she could have been messing around with. And the most prevalent is the person that you're dating, the person you're married to, the person you had a relationship with. It was said that he wanted to keep the children. The relationship wasn't working out. He wanted to make sure she didn't take her kids. Perhaps she knew this. Hey, I can never leave without my kids. But I can't see her leaving the kids with him if she actually loved her children.
Right. Right.
So if he wanted a way to get rid of her, I'm tired of dealing with her, this relationship, he got rid of her. But I got information from a source that says possibly that she's alive. And you have those rare circumstances as well that the person is alive. They didn't get kidnapped. They didn't get hurt. They didn't get murdered. They are alive. They just fell off from the world for whatever reason. Right. And people do this.
Maybe that's what Don's trying to do.
Well, you can't fall off from the world by making a hoax that the police or somebody came and got you.
Yeah,
you would just walk away and keep it moving.
But the bad thing, what's the purpose? What was the purpose of that?
He's a narcissist, so he's not going to do that.
Oh,
he likes the attention he's getting from, posting things on social media and going to YouTubers who are stupid enough to talk to him. I said that. And so, therefore, he's not the type. See, that's the thing about a type. He's not the type to fall off. He's not the type.
He always wants to be in the. Yeah.
He likes attention. Attention whores don't fall off. They have to be seen. He couldn't rest if his name wasn't seen and heard. So he's never going to be the type that's just going to walk away into the world and stay underground. He doesn't have that fortitude. That's not in his DNA.
Right. That's true. I don't know.
So do you believe he's in jail or you don't?
I don't believe he's in jail.
Well, what about the video that's uploading, the re-upload the video, this one young lady who's tracked the GPS and the poles showing on the street near the house? Do you believe the lie? So you believe what about the video now since that's come out?
I believe the video is true and they just lied. To tell you the truth, looking at that picture and then looking at the real picture of it, even if you turned it around, you'd still be going in the same direction, I believe.
Right. Okay.
So they were going away or
From
what?
the house.
Right.
Okay, but why would there be milk jugs in there if I just left Kingsport with those jugs? That's why I always tell people to think about everything that's being said. If we're going to use on the speculation that they're coming away from the house, allegedly you left Kingsport with the jugs.
Right.
So you will be going naturally home with the groceries.
Right.
Why would you be coming from your house when you allegedly were supposed to be coming from Kingsport?
Mm-hmm.
So why would you be driving around now to discard a child from your own house with the milk jugs in them if you're supposed to be going to your house?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't make sense, it's not gonna. If it doesn't make sense, it's not gonna make sense. It's not true. It can't be. I mean, she probably took all her other groceries out to made the boys think that she was coming from the store or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then put it right. And then she probably never left the car, and they just, gave them the groceries, hushed them up, and went on about their way. Maybe ice cold milk bowl. I don't know. I don't know. I don't. That's why I said I don't think they think out what they do before they do it. I
But
think
see,
they
that's
just
the whole
do
point of doing stuff. Nobody usually plans things thoroughly.
it.
It's the thing that they have a problem with is they've posted this stuff,
I
which
know.
gave people a reason to go dig.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't dig up something if it wasn't there.
Right.
So you posting all the stuff to social media is the reason why people keep chopping up the videos and chopping up the pictures and chopping up the car and what's this, a crate here, a tub here. That's it.
Right. And then they try to throw people off. And it's like, did you just get on here and say nobody's gonna believe nothing anybody says now? Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even, to tell you the truth, I was believing H, but then in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, I just, I don't know. Not unless she just had him as an alibi.
Mm-hmm. So do you even believe that he was at work that day then?
No. I mean, he
So
might have
that's
showed
been
himself.
said too that was used as a ruse for him to go to work, but that makes no sense because if I'm supposed to do a job, if I'm not there, don't you think somebody would have been reprimanding him about why aren't you at the job?
That's what I'm saying. I think he went and then he left. Probably said he had to go somewhere, but you can testify that he was there.
Okay, Dolly says think H was used that day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was just used as an alibi for him to say.
But he can only be used if the plan was already in motion before June 15th.
And it probably was.
Okay.
It probably was. I mean, to tell you the truth, it's weird. So grandma went to, I mean, the amount of time, I mean, I don't know what speedy ER she went to or urgent care. Maybe it was not a lot of people because of COVID or whatever, but so she went to get seen. And how long was she there?
See, now you're bringing up something that really has never been explained. First of all, one question I haven't heard once. You all never even asked how she got there and what day she got there.
That's true.
Uh-huh. So was it an actual doctor's visit or an ER visit?
Right.
There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to ask yourselves, once again, when did she get there if it was an ER visit?
Right.
So if it's an ER visit, that means I took you there and then left you there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say it again. Which is it?
And then she came back. If she went to even if she went to a doctor, but if you went to an ER and they did something to your leg and they make sure it's everything on your knee or your brace or whatever, and they make sure it's good, does this feel good? Whatever. And she's telling people she was fiddling with her leg and all. Oh, no, I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Well, like I said, everything's a discrepancy pertaining to these people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think anybody even knows if it was an ER visit or an actual doctor's visit.
Right. Because an ER visit can, unless the doctor's running behind, you have a scheduled appointment.
Yes.
If it's an ER, you don't have a scheduled appointment, not unless nobody else was in there. But still, it's going to take time.
Well, somebody's saying she had to be there at the hospital at 8. Well, then that
Well,
means it
this
couldn't have been an ER visit. They
right,
don't usually tell you, give you a time to come to the ER. That's
right.
why it's called emergency room.
Mm-hmm.
You go
Mm-hmm.
because it's alleged emergency. So that
Right.
means you took her there and then you came back home then.
Mm.
And then you went back out to go pick up your
8.
mother, H, and all that again.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
See?
See,
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. You have to think about everything that's been said to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it didn't, when they were talking about it, I was like, huh? What?
Hello, Frank.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know what we can't expect nothing outside of them. Only thing we can do is hopefully the investigators or have their phones and put the timeline and mapping where they were and see if it coincides with what
Of
they say,
course.
which we
Of
know
course,
what
they've
they.
done all that already.
Yeah, I think they're just going to pounce on
Every
it like a cat on a
interrogation,
mouse.
every phone, every device,
Mm-hmm.
every neighbor, every store they stopped in, damn well they've already gone in every place they allegedly
Mm-hmm.
went and talked to the said people.
Yep.
So everybody can stop worrying about who they talked to and didn't
Right.
talk to. You
Right.
should know by now they've already talked to those people.
Mm-hmm. They're going to pounce on them like a cat on a mouse. It's just going to be time. But I just wish they would find Summer, you know, in the middle of it. But maybe, like I said, maybe somebody will crack after they're in there for a few. Because
Well,
I
let's
would.
go here. I didn't mean to cut you off. Were you gonna
Oh
finish?
no, you're fine.
If we to believe that this was a handoff to somebody for a reward money, see, this is why I tell people don't think when they say stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
What is the person going to say? First of all, who is the person that would be holding her? Two, who is the person that's going to bring her forth? Three, you got to tell where you found her, how you found her.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people are going to want a stipulation, just like with the Cal City situation.
Right.
You don't think you're just going to get the money because you walked up and said, "Hey, I got 2 kids." Doesn't work like that.
Right.
Every person who's got their name on the money may have a different stipulation. Some stipulations will be, doesn't matter so long as they surface, I'll give you the money. But then another person's money in the pot may say, no, I need a conviction for you to get my portion
Right.
of the money. So each person's donating the money could give a stipulation on the money. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
So,
then the person coming that saying they found her, um, could be part of it too and be found out.
but that's the whole point I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Whoever brings her forward,
Yep.
it's not going to be just cut dry.
Mm-hmm.
Walk up if that's your reason to have held her. What's to get the money? Somebody's going to ask you something
Yep.
about where you found her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're not going to just go get no check because you walked up with some kid. Especially with all this hoopla going on with these parents with social media.
Yeah.
No way possible.
Yep.
And then two, you can't actually think this is for reward money because you bet that whoever has your child, you're in cahoots with them. You think they're going to cut you a check, a portion of that money, even though this is your idea, allegedly? Let's say allegedly this is to get reward money. Let's see how high they'll stack it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's still kind of low for 2 months.
Right.
So what is the lucky number if this is an alleged plan to get the reward money? Are you trying to get the 50,000, 100,000, 200,000? And if the person comes forward, you all agree, come on, it's time, let the child resurface. You actually think this person is going to give you that money?
Right.
Hell no.
Anything they probably blast them all out like they.
Right. So that's why I can't even wrap my head to even think that it's about a reward money to hide the child for that, because you don't have no guarantee the person is going to give you the money. Why would they?
Right.
They don't have to give it to you. And you can't go forward and ever say, we planned this to get the money. Pookie won't give me my money, because then you're showing that you broke the law.
Right.
To hide your kid out for the reward money. Mm-hmm. So you could never tell anybody if Pookie don't pay you the money.
Yeah. And then I heard I wasn't on somebody's channel that said that grandma when she left, she could have took her with her.
Yeah, that's retarded too. I don't
Isn't
even know
it?
why
That's
anybody would even say
like,
that.
why would
So
she?
you basically saying she carried a dead child out of the state.
Right. That doesn't.
And you know that they've been watching your house and watching the roads. So when would you have had time to go get the body? Where was the body then? So you want me? So you want me to believe this person that allegedly has a knee problem went and got the dead baby from wherever she was hid and put her in her car and carried the dead baby? Where exactly and for what reason?
Right. I'm surprised
Makes
she
no
even drove that any distance with her bad leg. I don't know. I don't know. Because
Anyway,
her little interview was kind of weird too.
who?
Grandma's.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. You have a wonderful holiday.
You too.
Bye, baby.
Bye bye.
That was Miss Broomer. Thank you all for joining me. Like I said, no matter how you chop it up, you will never get to the truth of June 15th. The only way you'll get to the truth is if one of these two decide to turn on the other. That's a spoken word. But I don't think there's any misunderstanding at this point that Candace is complicit to the disappearance of her own child. If Donald Wells is not in custody, then this was a farce and a lie, and it's a sick farce, hoax, to deceive the public for whatever sick reason. And she is complicit in getting her child gone. Because no sane person would ever go along with this, especially if they didn't have anything to do with the disappearance of their child. That's a spoken word. If you have a commentary pertaining to the information with the GPS and the video and the trees, and if indeed grandmother lied about where she and Candace was with the child in the car on June 15th, feel free to join the panel. Thank you for joining me. Got 149 viewing, amen. It's very bizarre. But two other channels I've been indulging in is Dirty Laundry, and I like her take on the information at hand. And Michelle After Dark, she's a foreigner. She's not here in the United States, but she's a YouTuber. It was her video that I watched yesterday while I was out dining that got me to this point of making this video. If grandma has lied about where they were the day they filmed the video of the child in the back seat of the car. So check out those two channels. Dirty Laundry and Michelle After Dark. Thank you so much. Yes, that's all we have is that the child's missing. We really don't even know if June 15th is the actual day, but Allie and H are verifying that it was June 15th, that they saw the child. He was with Candace and the child and the grandmother. So, who's to say? I don't know. Hello, Helen, someone. And hello, Susie. Welcome all in the chat. Thank you all for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks a lot. That is the said information. If you want to join the panel, you're welcome. I would prefer that you show yourself. Denise had showed herself, but I was talking a while, so she took her camera down. Yes, we know it's a game. It's a dirty game. Hello, Andre. Thanks for joining me. Well, this is an open panel. If you want to hit the link to give your opinion of the video that was uploaded months ago pertaining to June 15th, if indeed they were on the street where they live or near where they live, did the grandmother lie about that said location? Because she has given commentary on social media. She was an hour and a half out when the video was filmed. So she's basically saying we're not near the house. We're an hour and a half away from the house when the video was filmed. But if we're believe those, what we saw in the video, Candace passing the two poles in the little makeshift shed, whatever that thing was on the ground, doghouse, whatever, that means she was at her house, near her house, either going or coming. Really doesn't even matter, I guess. Because if you're saying you're an hour and a half away, it's still a lie either way. Whether you were going toward the house or you were coming from the house, you basically said we're an hour and a half away when that video was taken. So you couldn't be an hour and a half away. Whether you were on the road going or coming, it doesn't even matter. Because like I said, everything's on the opposite side when you're filming. So when you're taking a picture, this and that. So you're entitled to believe what you want. I just find it very interesting. Said information. Hello.
Hey, Angie. You know, at first when this story broke, I was holding out hope that the parents were not involved. And as that's progressed, I have no hope that they're not involved at this, at this point. And
well, say that again. You do believe they're involved, or you don't?
Yeah, I do at this point. Yeah, I totally do. And like after Chris McDonough interviewed Candace, I had some sympathy for her. And I don't anymore, especially after that prank phone call. I mean, your kid is missing and you're thinking about ways to prank people? Come on.
Okay.
I mean, that was just such a teenage, joke. It was just wrong and stupid and so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure. I saw another YouTuber today had a theory about why grandmother said that they were an hour and a half away. And that was because, okay, if you look at that milk jug video, okay, is her arm still up? And then the grandmother says no. And Candace goes, oh, if you listen to the tone of their voices, I'm not quite sure I believe this, but the YouTuber said that it's kind of at that point that they realized that she was dead, and then she drove and dropped her off to Dawn.
Okay, so what would be the point of her asking about her hands then if you know she's dead?
Because if they're still up, maybe she's still alive.
I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying she knew at that time she was dead or alive, Janet?
Okay, once she realized her arm was down, then she realized that she was dead.
That still don't really make no sense.
Yeah, I'm just kind of repeating what another YouTuber
said.
Yeah,
I've heard all that today. Everything you're saying I already heard, but what I'm saying is the point I'm trying to make about the video is the video just a setup because you already knew she was dead. You're just saying stuff to say to verify she was last in your custody. You see where I'm going?
Yeah, I do, and I've thought that as well. And what's really odd to me is that they took a picture and they did a video. Because there's a still frame picture out there of that same exact moment. Why would you duplicate it?
Okay.
And that to me says, okay, we're doing this for evidence to show that she was alive or whatever.
Right. That's why I said you don't know what to believe with these people because they've been spinning the different webs from day one. So you don't really know if it was ever about her actually moving her hand up, down, whatever. At one point, I thought it could have been true that she was just trying to see if the child was sitting a certain way at one moment. But I don't know because I don't know how long the actual video is. I can't say what the child was doing before. I can't say if the child was dead or alive because I wasn't there.
Yeah, I know. And all we have are a bunch of liars to try and get facts from. And it's just, I believe Hunter more than I believe Candace at this point.
Okay, somebody saying why Don mentioned the camera was bought for Candace, laying the blame on her. What about a camera? Do you know what they're talking about?
I heard that the police took a camera and he was asking about it, so he came up with the fact that he bought it for Candace.
Okay.
I don't see how that really throws blame on her because she was the one taking all the pictures. I think Dawn alluded to it. The police did not give it back or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember it right.
Okay. Mm.
Everything about this case is so shady, and I totally believe now both the parents are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're holding out hope that they get that reward money, and it's all been a big scam. Which after that,
well, let's go there since you opened that. How are they gonna get the reward money?
if they leave her with a relative or something like that, and then they wait for it to get high enough, and then they have another person come in there and say, "Oh, I found her."
Right, but I just explained how that would work.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. But do they really think
they're gonna ask you something? Because they're gonna have to ask you where you found the child. So how are you gonna say you found her?
Yeah, and do they think that far ahead, though, is the question?
And that's
Are they
my
that
point.
stupid?
Most people don't. Remember I said there's 50 ways to kill a person, there's 100 ways to get caught.
Yep.
Because most people don't ever plan a crime out thoroughly. They don't plan on surveillance cameras, doorbell cameras, neighbors, depending on where the crime is taking place. They don't count on GPS. They don't count on people out walking dogs, out driving, toll booths, all the things you go through when you are committing a crime, disposing of a body. GPS in a car, GPS on your phone, GPS on a smartwatch. Nobody thinks about any of those things.
Right.
You don't think that you got your phone with you and your GPS is on. So you have to have a burner phone to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Can't use your phone to call people, text people. But a lot of people don't think about that at the time.
Right. But I if Summer is still alive, I'm really concerned for her at this point, because if that was what the plan was, with everything that's come out recently and the crap that they're getting from everybody, I mean, they won't keep her around for much longer.
And well, what do you think she's alive or deceased?
After that prank phone call and the stupidity that they showed with that, I'm kind of thinking now that maybe it was a setup to get the reward money, because they've shown no emotion whatsoever as far as I'm concerned. So
you can show any emotion anyway if you deliberately killed your child. Most children are deliberately killed. So I'm not going to show you any emotion. If I do, it's fake. But once again, you can't just show up with a kid either.
But they have shown no emotion. They haven't even tried to fake it.
Okay, that's why I just said. If I deliberately killed my child, I probably won't show an emotion because I didn't want her in the first place. That's why I killed her. Because you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I'm saying you're never going to know the truth of June 15th. You can chop it up 1,000 different ways. You can come up with 1,000 theories of what happened to Summer Wells. You can come up with reward money. Somebody else is in cahoots with them. They sold her, bought her, illegal adoption, human trafficking. You can come up with 1,000 things. Who is going to tell you the truth of what happened to her?
I think the evidence is going to have to put it all together for us, because I don't believe a word either one of them says at this point. What do you think of the grandmother?
Well, let me ask you this one question before that. What was your version of what you thought before all this farce and hoax went on?
Okay, before the phone call?
She was alive or dead then?
Before the phone call, I was sort of leaning towards the accident theory.
Okay.
After the phone call, I'm thinking stupid reward money ploy.
Okay, somebody in the chat is saying that's why DW took the new car, figured against the new car would have the GPS. Could be.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, now you get ready to ask me about the grandmother. What about the grandmother?
What do you think of her?
Well, I don't know her personally, but I think it's cheesy that she left her child.
Yeah, that's
knowing that the woman's children have gone. She also knows the relationship between she and Don. She also knows the propensity of him to drink and get drunk. that has already been proven from last year's events and whatever took place while the children were taken. So why would you leave her there alone with them?
Yeah, I know, right? It makes no sense to me. Unless it's sort of like a backwoods thing to do. Okay, you're on your own, kid, or whatever. I don't know. But the grandmother, I've thought maybe she doesn't know much, but I'm really starting to question that at this point. Especially if she doesn't come out and say, that was a stupid thing to do, that phone call. That was just plain stupid. If she doesn't come out and say that, I'm really going to give her the side eye.
So you want the grandmother to say something?
Yeah, she should have been talking this whole time, you know?
Well, she hasn't. That's the point, Janet.
I know she hasn't. And that's really
something about what you're saying. So why now should she say something about a phone call that they made when she hadn't been talking in the first place? Didn't I tell you all everything you need to know is at the beginning of the story?
But what did we know at the beginning? I mean, that the mother
you
said
knew that she made a dispatch call that said she took a walk.
That's true.
So anything after that, if it got changed, then you're deceptive for some reason. And what reason would you have to be deceptive when you're reporting your child missing? So now we've gone from a dispatch call that differentiates, that's not the same version you gave the news, a bunch of people running the YouTubers talking, doing interviews, now a hoax phone call that the man's been arrested. You follow it now?
Yeah, it's all a pack of lies.
Thank you.
Every single bit of it.
That's my point.
So I don't know at this point. I mean, before the phone call accident, maybe. After the phone call, anything's open for me.
See, you can't believe things when something tragic has happened to a person. See, their friends and family can believe in them because they think they know them. We are outsiders. So I've always told you all that. I'm not rocking with a stranger about a kid, a mother, father, husband. I watch everything that goes on first. I want to see how the people act. I want to see how they talk. I want to see what the neighbors have to say, the friends have to say, the co-workers. I want to see if there's arrest records. I want to see if there's issues of abuse, neglect. Then I'll form my opinion. But I'm not getting ready to rock with you. I'm not going to give you no damn money. I'm not getting ready to post flyers and letters on your behalf to anybody, social media. I'm not getting ready to be a right fighter for you. I'm not going to stand in front of a damn news camera for you. I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch first.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I don't see how anybody could have rocked with them going all out your way. And now you're sitting here now, what? You want to talk bad about them now because of a damn phone call? Well, see, that's what you should have thought about when you were rallying with them in the first place. You didn't know them and you still don't know them.
I never rallied with them. I thought, you know what? I need more information. I'll wait for the police to tell me what's going on. I never said one good word about them. I never said a bad word about them. But I just kind of sat back and waited. But since that phone call, nothing good to say about them.
Well, for those who did rally behind them, you have egg on your face at this point.
Yeah. And did anybody really come out and like stand with them other than people in their church? Maybe a little bit.
Well, even the people in the community, at the vigils and stuff. So.
Yeah, but that was more about summer, wasn't it? That wasn't standing with the parents as much.
Well, there were some people that would seem to be right fighters for the parents, saying not to judge them, not to make accusations, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you're right. I saw somewhere that they've been basically shunned from the church at this point, but I don't remember where, so don't quote me on that. And where's Robin now?
Yeah, well, I've asked that the other day.
She's gone MIA, and I can't blame her a bit.
Well, like I said, when I had heard weeks ago that she had talked to a YouTuber, I already had a bad feeling about that because I thought, well, now Candace is going to feel like you have betrayed her by talking to, the YouTuber. So 9 times out of 10, I'm sure Candace asked Robin, well, why did you go talk to him? Why would you tell him anything about what I said to you on that night pertaining to the doors, this or that? Why would you do that? I'm wondering what Robin said if she indeed asked her. Because I would be very curious.
Yeah. Even Robin, I mean, you don't see her anymore. Last time I saw her was in that parade where her and Candace were holding the banner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been, I think, a good month. So really, other than Robin and maybe that David Dotson guy, nobody really stood beside them or, in fact, the families come out completely destroyed Dawn's world, and let everybody know what was going on, which speaks volumes too.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wonder if he still has his job.
There's a local guy in a Discord group that I'm on, and if I remember right, it was him or a friend of his in the area said that he didn't show up for work the last couple of days. So I don't know.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that one.
Well, I don't, because you're just repeating what you heard. So there's no verification.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
The only verification would be if his boss spoke and said he no longer works for me.
Right.
Well,
but they're monsters. They're really monsters.
So at this point now, what do you think happened to the child?
Okay, I'm sort of torn between, because of the nature of the childish phone prank, that they did it for the reward money, or two, they sold her.
Mm-hmm. Why is that? Why are you thinking it's about money, or she was sold?
Because Don inherited that house from his mother, and he's going to Utah trying to get his dad to turn over that house to him. I had a brother like that too, and it was all about Prince Tom, and basically he got everything, which I'm cool with. But you know what? I don't like the guy. He's a sociopath. And I see Don in that same sort of light, just always, out for himself and, give me the money, give me the goods, so, sign your property over to me kind of guy. So he's all about the money. And that to me says maybe she was sold. For what, $50,000?
Why you say 50,000?
Because that's what he said he borrowed. And I figured there's some reason why that number keeps popping up.
You don't even know if that's true or not, that he borrowed money.
Oh, I know. It's just, I'm not saying that he did. In fact, I don't think he did.
See, that's what I'm saying. You can't believe anything these people said.
That's true. It's just a number.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like I said, if you start at the beginning of the story, nothing is panned out to be true.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a receipt to anything.
Yep. Where do you think she is? What do you think's happened to her?
I think she's dead is what I think.
Oh.
What I already thought in the beginning. I always thought she was dead.
You think it was an accident, or did they just kill her?
No, I do not.
Oh. Okay, I was kind of hopeful because
I think she was murdered. The only thing that throws me off is trying to put together if I believe that the whole day was set up to murder her.
Why would they want to murder their own child, though?
Don't ask that, Janet. Don't do that.
Okay.
You know damn well why people murder people.
She was starting school, and that would be a liability.
No. Where do y'all get that from?
Just something.
Let me tell you something. The speculations amaze me that you all just assume she was raped by her father. She's about to start school. That's why. The child had rotten teeth. So who was going to verify that she was raped? That's why I tell you, think about what you're saying. Who was going to verify she had been touched, raped, whatever? She had rotten teeth, so that should tell you she never went to a dentist. You think she went to a doctor?
No.
Okay, then. So who was going to verify anything at a school?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you even know that they went to school?
No. Not firsthand, not verified, no receipts.
That's my point. You have no idea about anything pertaining to the Wells and their children.
Yeah, true.
They already had to get physicals anyway when you go to school. Your kids have to get immunizations to start school if they were going to actually a public school.
Yeah.
We don't have any guarantee that the children were even attending school, had been attending school. And we know they weren't getting the best health care because you can look at them and tell that.
Yeah. Summer to me looked like she was malnourished or she
Right.
had something going on.
So I don't ride with the essay thing as far as that's why they got rid of her because she's about to start school and this, that, and the other. You don't have no proof of that.
What other motivation could there be, though? I mean, did they just dislike her?
Well, what do we talk about all the time with true crime? I did it because I could. I don't need a reason.
Damn.
We talked about that the other night. Nadia told that in my live that I did the other night. You all keep searching for a motive.
I just want stuff
You don't need a motive. Let me tell you something. I was watching stuff in the queue yesterday pertaining to Chris Watts. On somebody's channel, he is repeated saying, allegedly, I never cared for them, plural. Because he was an empty vessel. He's an empty vessel. He has no empathy. So one would have to go back into the book of life and say, what you all always want to ask questions. Why? Why'd you marry her then? Why'd you procreate then? I did it because I could at that time. But he would have done the girlfriend the same way. And see, that's what sick people don't understand about sick people. You're trying to rationalize a sick person. You can't.
Yeah, you got a point there. I just like stuff to make sense, you know?
How can it make sense, babe? You're talking about death.
Yeah, true.
When did death ever make any sense? You see, you're trying to rationalize a sick person, a sociopath, a psychopath. There is no rationalizations. It can't be, it'll never be. Why would a man marry a woman knowing he didn't love her? Then he made kids with her. Then he kills them and had been sleeping around with another woman. And what? She thinks she's special?
Right.
Not. You could never be special. Because now if the man is telling the world, I never loved my wife and my children, well then how in the hell would he love you? He would do the same to you. He'd get tired of you. You do something he don't like. He falls off from the world. You're right back in the same situation that woman and her 2 children ended up in. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. People are basically the same inside from year to year to year to decade to decade.
That's it. And that's what people don't understand about a sociopath and a psychopath.
Yeah.
They don't have any empathy. So they're walking around pretending to be a human. They're mimicking emotions, but they don't feel anything for you. They will never feel anything for you because one, they don't even care for themselves. They don't love themselves. So they can't love you anyway.
Yeah.
So you've got to stop questioning why somebody killed somebody, why somebody would kill their family, why somebody would kill their kid, why somebody would touch their kid, rape their kid, rape people. They don't need a reason.
I tell you what, that doesn't speak well for the human race.
Well, but that's the world we've been in from day one when somebody ate off the tree in the garden. It's been that way day one.
Oh, man.
This is nothing new. What man is doing to man, what man is doing to woman. This happened the day they were in the garden. It's been ever evolving.
Oh, you're bursting all my bubbles.
Janet? Really, Janet?
I'm a pretty optimistic person. I always
You're very optimistic.
People.
You're optimistic, but are you dealing with what's real?
Probably not.
Yeah, we don't live in that type of world. There's nothing wrong with being hopeful and wishing people well. But you also have to know the flip of the coin is there are people out here who don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about anything.
Yeah, my brothers to begin with.
Yep. And the people that we're talking about are those people. They are looking to be like those people. They are narcissistic. They are sick. They come from vile people. And now they have come into the world to become vile people. They have reared children who we have to pray will not also become vile people. You see, that's why I keep trying to tell people the focus right now, yes, is to find Summer and pray that those other three don't mimic these two buffoons. Because it will start all over again with the three boys.
You know, I've been thinking about that. I mean, they're at the age, I think your personality is supposed to be sort of set when you're about 6 years old.
Yeah,
you know,
your identity it starts as a child.
Yeah, when you're about 6 years old. I think this might be Freudian. I'm not sure, but I think your personality's basically set by the time you're 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're over that age, and I don't see much good for those boys. I'm sorry. Even though they're taken out of the house, God bless them. I hope they're all good. But I tell you what, I don't see much changing for them either.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to be just like their dad and just like their mother.
And see, and that's the sad thing is, this is where I ride with you with the hopeful, to be hopeful that the children will not turn out like their parents, not get their ways. And there's still time because they're still children. They can get in the right environment, be taught, how to get along with people, how to share, how to have empathy. If they see it enough, they experience it enough, they can be caring individuals. You see, if you don't see it enough, how you going to go out in the world and mimic that? You don't see it. You don't smell it. You understand? Like they say, it ain't in your DNA. So if you're around people that's cussing, fussing, throw down drunks, get high, always in some mischief, always got drama, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go right out in the world. You're going to do exactly what your parents were doing or whoever took care of you. You're going to be a troublemaker. You're going to stay in trouble. You're going to hang with troublemaking people. You're going to get wrapped up in drugs, drinking, breaking the law. You're going to do the same damn thing your family did because that's all you saw. Now you have that rare chance that a child will be different than that and take a different road.
Yeah.
A different road. But that stuff's in you when you're seeing that all the time. You don't even know how to talk or act because you've been exposed to people who are fools and clowns. So you go out in the world and you do exactly what those people were doing. And you may not even deliberately want to be that way. But you haven't been taught anything different. So now you're judged as a grown-up. Well, sorry, I don't care what happened to you at 12 and 10, 16. You're grown now. You got to act like an adult. Because that's how we judge people. Well, you're grown now. Act like an adult. Act like you got some damn sense. Well, I can't act like I got some damn sense because nobody teach me nothing. But that's the point. When you are an adult, it is not our job to raise you. It's not our job to teach you anything. You're on your own.
You make your own decisions once you're an adult.
So the court don't care, the judge don't care, the police don't care. Hey, buddy, tighten your shit. You're grown now. That's the way the world has always been.
Yep.
That's the way the world has always been.
Can you believe it takes more to get a driver's license than it does to have a baby?
What's your point about that, Janet?
I mean, why are these people just out there having kid after kid after kid? I mean, her first two, the son is in a...
Because I can. See, Janet, you keep asking the same question. I already told you, stop that.
I wish there was some...
People do what they want to do. That's why we're in the shape we're in right now. That's why we're talking about a little girl missing. Because somebody decided to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
They fell off. They fell off. They had no business having no more children. But they did. Now those kids are gone and one's missing. Possibly dead. Because they did what they wanted to do.
Right. Ah, sad. So sad. Anyway, I'm going to step down. It's good talking to you.
Well, yeah. Look, cheer up. The optimist.
I have always
ultimate optimist.
I am. I have always been optimistic, cheerful. You know, if you got a
There's
friend,
nothing wrong with that. But what I'm telling you is, I don't want you to be so optimistic to where you're green and you're not oblivious to stuff that's in front of you, to where there should be signs that show, hey, something's not right here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are like that. They're optimistic to the point where they're green, and this is how you get taken advantage of, because people see that in you. And they'll say, oh, yeah, I can run anything on this chick because she thinks the world of me, but I'm a crook. I'm a bum. I'm a bottom feeder, but she likes me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I've come to that point in my life several times. And my way of dealing with conflict is just to walk away. It's like you piss me off one too many times, I'm out of there.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing wrong with giving a person a chance, because everybody deserves a chance. But there still comes a point when, as they say, your past behavior is indicative of possibly your future behavior. So if I give you a chance and then I start seeing signs that possibly you're not genuine, then I have to adhere to what you're showing me. I can't just say, well, I'm an optimist. You know,
No,
I can see they're doing me in, but, well, I want to think good of people.
I don't do that. No, I mean, I'll basically kind of turn my back on people in a way if I see troubling signs. Like,
yeah, but see, some people won't.
No, I do that.
I've had that discussion now a week with somebody that I know that I just met recently, and they have a lot of drama going on in their life right now. And I told this person to their face, the signs were always there. You still was in the midst of it. Even though you may not have never said nothing, even though you may not have got involved in these people's personal business, but you continue to deal with them. So therefore, even if you're quiet and mum about what is going on in their lives, you're still in their peripheral. So when the shit jumped off, you became public enemy number one because you had always been around as the scapegoat. You became the scapegoat.
I was born into drama. My mother was an undiagnosed borderline, and I didn't realize that till I went and interned at the state hospital in Reno. And it's like, whoa. And I looked at her, and it's like, she's borderline, and that's a fact. Mm-hmm. And that's all she did was cause trouble. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't know how I turned out as happy and cheerful as I did, but
see, that's why I say every child is different.
Give Zach his medicine.
Oh, hold on a second. Alexa, stop.
So that's my point, is that every child doesn't have to turn out the same. You can have 5 kids, 3 may be similar, 2 may be different. That's just the way it goes. But that's the point I'm making, is that you don't know how people are going to turn out, because a lot of good, decent people have come from terrible family backgrounds, and they've done well for themselves. But then you have the flip side. There's those that came out of a horrible situation and they haven't progressed and they haven't done well in life, and they've gotten themselves caught up in madness and mayhem.
When I can remember being 4 years old, looking at my parents and making a conscious decision then, I do not want to be like this when I am older. And I pretty much stuck to that. They were just miserable people, always complaining. And yeah, no, I think I did okay.
Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to step down.
Okay. You have a wonderful holiday and a good week.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Welcome to Everyday Shenanigans. That was Janet. If you want to comment pertaining to the video, and if the grandmother lied about the location of that said video in relation to where she was on that fateful day of June 15th, she, Candace, and the child, please hit the link. Thanks for joining me. Got 128 viewing. Thank you all so much. Hope you all have a safe holiday. Happy Labor Day to those of you who are celebrating the holiday. Have a safe week. Hope you all enjoy your day off. Eat you some barbecue. If not, indulge in something healthy and fun today and tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you have an opinion pertaining to the video, the infamous video of the child in the backseat of the car, where were they on that fateful day the video was filmed? Were they near their house or not? What happened to the child? Was she alive or deceased in the back of that video? Why is grandmother covering for these people if she is? Why would she? Does she know of any plan to get rid of the child on that day? Is the grandmother lying? Where's the church? Where are the friends, family? What does the police think now that you've given the farce, fake, hoax, phone call? What is TBI? Hawkins County Sheriff's Department thinking of Candace, Bly, Wells, and Mr. Wells. At this point, they couldn't be too happy with them. Or did they say, we knew this was coming because we've seen them and we've been around them more than you have? Spectators, YouTubers, chat members. We know a little bit more about Candace, Bly, and Donald Wells than you do because we've got to know them, gotten to know them firsthand. Never show your hand. Thank you. Thank you, Earth Dog. Thank you. You want to hit the link? Feel free. I'm 1 hour and 20 minutes in. I'm going to try to keep the live down to a minimum. So if you want to hit the link before I check out of here, feel free to hit the link. Thank you for joining me. Granny's a liar, part of the homicide with the candies. Okay. Ooh, they getting all involved. Yes, indeed. Don't think they have any friends. That created was someone in Hollerville. What you talking about, Gibson? So is the child alive or deceased? What is it? She was sold, loaned, hiding out for the reward money, GoFundMe money. What are you all saying? So many speculations. But as I told you, you're never going to get to the truth because I'm never going to tell you anything. Love says grandmama is involved. Okay. Hey, Rags, how you doing, sweetie? The case is fishy. Well, it's always fishy when you're lying. You're giving different versions and adding things onto the story as you spin it. Bridget says she's been dead since the 15th. Okay, I got you. Even if the child's alive, you still have to ask yourselves, who has her? Lord, I'm looking at a news break notification that says teen admits killing 6-year-old sister after getting tired of taking care of her. Well, I blame the parents because you can't use your children as babysitters. Because you have to understand, a child is what it is. What he is a child. And you want your child to become an adult by being a caretaker. There's nothing wrong with occasionally asking your older child to keep your younger child, but it cannot work that way because now a child is losing part of their own childhood by being a babysitter. Carla says she was sold and killed. Well, who killed her? Who did they sell her to? And why would that person kill her? Common sense will tell you the selling of a child 9 times out of 10 is for felonious reasons and sexual reasons. So 9 times out of 10, they're not going to keep the child. You do have cases of people who kidnap children and they kept them for some years. But see, each person is different. Each person's motive is different. The mindsets are different. You could buy a child because you want a child. Can't have a child, which is called an illegal adoption. Then there's a person that's buying a child for sexual gratifications. But everybody knows that if you're buying a child for sexual gratifications, the odds are very high that you will not keep the child alive. That is the reason why a lot of children are kidnapped from random strangers. It is for sexual gratifications. They have no damn intention of keeping your child after kidnapping them. That's why they tell you of a 3-hour window from the time you report a child missing. If he or she is abducted by a random stranger, it is for sexual reasons. They're going to kill your child. If they keep them alive a couple of days, they'd be lucky if they could keep them alive for even a few days. And why you keep saying that? I don't even want to say that word in my chat. See, you all are all over the place with these speculations pertaining to Summer with the essay and the why she didn't go back to school, and it's because that's why they killed her. And now you're talking about snuff films, man. Really? Wow. Man. It's a bit much. See, I don't even like my mind to even wander in that direction because I don't trust these parents at all. I disagree with what you disagree with. What? What's regular? I don't know what you're talking about, Susie. If you have an opinion, hit the link. I'm not about to keep asking you all questions. You all act like I can actually. We're talking to one another. I have to wait for you to respond. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I have no idea. The abuse. Well, like I said, you're gonna have to have a receipt that Don abuses children sexually, physically. Somebody would have to attest and say, this is what was going on in this household. We have to have some type of proof of something. Granny and Candace were sick of minding Summer and neither keen on her. Probably not. That's why I said it doesn't have to be anything elaborate as selling a child, human trafficking. Could be just what happens with most people who have children. They're tired of being with their children. They're tired of taking care of their kids. They're tired of fooling with them. They're mad at the other parent. People kill children for all types of different reasons. It doesn't have to have anything to do with human trafficking. It doesn't even have to have anything to do with child molestation. Like I said, you got to have proof somebody was sexually assaulted. A lot of people get rid of their kids because they just don't want to fool with them. Bring the queen a receipt to any sexual allegation. That's how I rock. Hello, Rags.
Hey. Oh,
Hey.
that just popped up. I mean, this is my opinion real quick. I won't say it long. These people aren't that smart. I don't think there was a plan and anything. I think that whatever happened just happened at that moment.
Which was what?
Okay, so I do believe, like you believe, in that photo, I have said it from the beginning, she's hurt. Her right ear's black as can be. Her hands are swollen. Her nails are blue. But I think that something happened at that moment. It was not no planned out.
And where did it happen, Rags?
Well, what I believe that probably happened with Candace's temper, I think that she went a little too far.
So you think she has a temper? Why do you think Candace has a temper?
Listen to her in the background, how she goes off, hearing her friends and her true past by watching her TikTok videos.
Okay. Well, address my title as far as the video and the GPS scenery of the two poles and all that. Was the grandmother lying about where they were when they took the video?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the scenery shows the streets that's near her. They're not an hour and a half away.
Okay. Do you know how far those poles are exactly to where Ben Hill Road is?
I've watched so many videos on it. I think between all of them, it comes down between 5 and 10 minutes.
Okay.
Now, whether they were going or coming is the only thing that I haven't got a straight answer on. Were they going?
That's the reason why I told people, because you have to be very careful when you start trying to assume what is the truth or not. If you are actually listening to what the grandmother is saying, this is why I tell you I don't like reading text messages and stuff, because people can try to explain themselves and that's not what they meant. So that's why I'm saying, did she mean to say it verbatim that the video was taken 1 hour away from the house? Because the way it was worded, it sounded like she's saying after. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So does the grandmother mean the picture was taken 1 hour away from Ben Hill Road? Or this picture after I left Kingsport? Because see, people don't talk like that when they're texting.
Right. Because the text said, when was the photo taken? And she said an hour and a half away.
Okay.
So then that can't be possible.
That's what I'm saying. So then that means the grandmother is lying if we are to
Right.
assume that's what she meant.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go to Night Owl. What do you have to say about the picture and the photo, and if the grandmother's lying about the video?
Hey everybody. I had jumped up here. I'm gonna say it's mind blowing. I'm gonna say what I said on your last video. The chickens are coming home to roost. Everything was at the beginning, and now everything is now playing out. All
Okay.
these little intricate parts that we're
Yeah.
missing, like with the video, the pose,
Well,
the
answer my
time
question if you
frame.
don't mind, ma'am. Would you just say yes or no, please? I'm asking everybody that before y'all get into talking about everything else.
I'm gonna say that she meant what she said, and it was a lie.
Okay.
When she was like, we right here in the time, I think when they did those videos and everything, that's the key details to this case.
So what you saying?
Like with these little videos that's coming out, giving the time frame, giving the distance and everything, I think that's where the truth is lying and what possibly happened that day. Everything else is just like, sideshow antics with the icing on the cake. But I think when the grandmama said that, that's exactly what was going on that day. And it was a lie.
So this is why I said, if you're going to believe she lied when they took the photo, then that means Candace went home with the milk for what reason and came back out with the milk still in the car and the child in the car.
No, I'm saying everything else
I
after
understand, but I'm just saying
was a lie.
for
Yeah.
the people that's believing that the grandmother was near the house, they were near the house when they took that picture. What I'm saying is it's jacked up either way, whether you're going or coming, because how can you be an hour away and that location is near the house? And you bought the milk from the Kingsport area. See where I'm going? So what are we saying? You came home and did what? And went back out. If that's showing you're leaving. So that's what we got to get confirmation. Is this going or leaving?
Right. And I think once we get that detail to it, we are possibly kind of be able to put this case together. But I'm glad the person who did that video did do that video. Because it was,
I don't know who was up there in the front seat. The grandmother said she was in the car with her. So why would I assume it was somebody else?
Right.
I can only go by what they've said.
Right.
So if the grandmother said she was there, then why am I assuming it was somebody else in the car filming? I don't have no reason to assume it was somebody else. If the grandmother is on Facebook saying we were an hour away when we took the photo, then who else was in the camera? I don't assume anything because I don't even know anything about that day. We're only going by, we're only repeating what the hell they said.
I'm going by 911 call that was given. I'm going by that.
Okay. Savannah, were they near the house or not during that photograph or video?
I don't believe so.
So were they going or coming? That's what we need verification. Were they going or coming where those poles sit? Because that is the left side of her car. So that's the driver's side.
Oh, that's true.
So that's why I need to know if she was going home or coming from the house.
I think going towards the house.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, going toward the house, possibly.
I kind of like having somebody that goes against what we think. So why do you think she's not? Why do you think she was further away?
I beg your pardon?
I said I kind of like having somebody going against, like what others think of it being close. Savannah, why do you feel like it was further away?
Okay, well, let me rethink that. Okay. Because based on the evidence that we have already seen thus far, right, we know that it wasn't very far from the house, right? Well, are you talking about the video or the photo?
It's all the same. The video and the photo, they're all the same.
I believe that they were taken at 2 different locations. That's just my opinion. I think that maybe at the end of whatever was going on and this so-called plan that they had going on that day,
Okay.
that was the last video that they decided to take when they were about to, they just kind of use that as kind of an alibi type
And that's
of thing.
and that's how I feel about the video at this point. I think I felt like that then, possible. That the video is to just secure that I had the child in my custody and we left the store because H and the mother are verifying that the milk was in the car. So that means we'd have to also say if they're lying about that, then H and the mama are lying to Allie. They're verifying that the milk was in the car. So that's as far as we're going to get. They left that lady's house. Milk was in the car with the child. 2 other witnesses are saying the milk guest was in there. 2 outside witnesses. You understand what I'm saying? So we now got to figure out if you want to figure it out. Because to me, it don't even really matter trying to figure it out because you're never going to get the truth. They left there, Kingsport, with the milk in the car, with the child in the back, allegedly the grandmother in the front seat, and they went where after that? So you're never going to know. Who's going to tell it? Nobody.
Right. Because the only time stamps we got are from that picture to the 911. Anything could have happened between that.
Did you guys remember seeing this was towards the beginning when this all happened, and the day that Summer disappeared, Candace posted a photo on Facebook, right? And it was at 6:09, and it was an old photo she put up there, and it was of her son, and you could see kind of a little bit of Summer's arm.
Summer's arm. So okay, so now that you said that, because that's why all I was wanting to hear, and I ain't heard nobody say that yet. So you're telling me that photo is an old photo?
Yes.
So you went back in her Facebook. How far back is that as an original photo? Thank you so much for saying that.
Well, she, like I said, in my belief and just from what I get on it is that she, at that moment, used that as another alibi. Like, Summer's here, you can see her arm clearly, right? But then,
yeah. But I'm saying, sweetheart, did you go in her photos to see how old the photo was?
I didn't actually know.
So then, how do you know it's an old photo then?
Because you can tell by looking at the child's hair. The child that's standing there has very, very short hair, and in the interview with Dawn and the son that was in the photo, he has long hair. It's an old photo, so she immediately.
So that's what I had made a point about that 6:09, because I said that to everybody. How do you know you're looking at what you think you're looking at? So I'm supposed to believe then from 6:09 to under 6:30, she got dead.
Yeah, but that's just the time she posted it. It's obviously an older picture.
And that's what I told people too. That posting a picture does not mean I just took the picture.
Yeah. But she used that as an extra alibi. Like, okay, we're in the house, Summer's here.
Yeah.
But then
right. So then that means possibly the photo of Summer in the back seat, that's a ruse too.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So we're going to all say what? We agreed that all photos and videos were a ruse of June 15th.
Oh, I say all of them, but that backseat photo, I'm sorry, I just feel like he's hurt.
Say what, Raz?
I like also she posted right after the one Savannah's talking about. She uploaded her profile picture of an older picture because they're all younger there. So those two were done at the same time. Those, yes. That backseat photo, she's hurt in that photo. So.
Okay, you say she's hurt.
Yes,
so you saying she was not alive or she was hurt? Which is it?
Since experts are saying she's alive, I guess I'm going to have to say she's alive, but she's very, 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 very hurt. She may be.
So because we don't know anyway, so it's just your speculation. Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Night Owl. I don't know what she's doing. She got her mic off. Night Owl.
I'm here. Yes.
The 609 photograph that the lady's just mentioning, Miss Smiles. Do you believe it was a ruse to post that picture? 609. That was an old picture, new picture. What?
Yeah, I think it was a ruse. Just to throw it up, like you said, like I could take a picture today at exactly what time it is,
Well, you I'm an
2:23,
hour ahead. Yeah, I'm an hour ahead of you.
or at 3:23 your time. I can post it at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think everything about this case was pre-planned. I
Yeah.
think that whole day was staged.
I always say that anyway when I looked at the time of the picture, 6:09. If you called it 6:30 to say she was missing, I say, well, then that means she got dead between 6:09 and 6:28, 6:27.
And the number
Yeah.
is odd. Yeah, just that time, and she was just gone. It makes no sense.
What I get out of her changing the photos or uploading the photo picture and changing her profile picture to me is she's supposed to have been fixing mom's knee brace, but at 6:05 and 6:06 she was scrolling through old photos and posting them. So where was she? You know what I'm getting at with that?
Well, you obviously were posting them somewhere where you had Wi-Fi. That's one thing I want everybody to keep in their mind. If you're going to keep continuously listening to this BS that they're spinning to you, always keep in mind about the Wi-Fi, because always remember that has been a pivotal point in this storyline about the Wi-Fi and the 911 calls, and also this hoax of calling saying Don was taken in. So now we have to ask ourselves, what phone was used? Stay woke.
Well, I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that she was physically on her phone scrolling through old pictures to post
Okay, I hear what you're saying.
when she's supposed to be doing the knee brace at that time. Nowhere did she say, well, I sit down on my butt and played on Facebook for 45 minutes.
But see, that's the whole point. We don't really know what time anything went on.
We know she posted at 6:05. It may have been an old photo, but she posted it. So
but you don't really know that she was supposed to have been doing a knee brace at that time.
Oh, that if you go with the story, she'd fixed mom's knee brace, went straight inside, and Summer was gone.
Okay, but baby, you got to remember something. They got back to their house before 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Are you missing it?
I think so. Can you explain it?
If they got back at their house before 6 o'clock, the child already had been missing before 6 o'clock, probably.
Oh, okay. I get going with that. Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it don't take that long to get from Kingsport to Rogersville. So if they left that Kingsport, let's say no later than 2:45 is what my source is telling me. So you still talking about after 3 o'clock, you got home, took stuff out, did this, and this. You still talking about damn near a 3-hour window of the child being unattended, allegedly missing, to your knowledge. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what
So you
you're
got to
saying.
explain now at least from 3:15 or after 3, depending on how long it took them to get to the house. So let's just go on and say 3:15 to 3:30. So the child went missing from no more than 3:15 to 6:30. So that means that's a window of anything transpiring allegedly. Be it a drop-off, handoff, went home, didn't go home. See, you're never going to know. And like you said, posting the pictures don't mean nothing. Because we also got to remember these are the same people that cried and moaned and didn't have no Wi-Fi working on the 15th. But yet you have been posting from that address over the past couple of years. Stay woke. You posted this ruse from where? Where did you call Mary from? That's why I keep trying to tell y'all. Everything you need to know about these people, they've already told you. Where did the hoax call come from? Stay woke.
Come on, Queen. That's what I was waiting on.
Where did she call Mary from? You didn't even think about that, did you?
Yeah. That's what I was waiting on.
No, I'm talking about the people in the chat. I bet y'all didn't think about where she called Mary from.
The Wi-Fi has been working ever since June. It didn't work June 15th, but after their Wi-Fi, these telephone calls, talking to people from that address has been working.
Call, you had to call H that morning. You had to text him on Wi-Fi to do Messenger. All of that. TikTok is off of Wi-Fi. Stay woke.
Well, you got to also remember, though, she had a different carrier on the 15th. She went to AT&T the next day and got a new phone.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that heifer did.
Well, I know.
We
I
believe
don't
it.
know what she
Is it a
done.
receipt? Is it a
Yeah.
receipt for that?
I don't know what she done done.
There was people that took pictures that were standing outside of AT&T
Okay.
because they were
So what?
ticked off because
So you saying, but you got to remember something. How many towers you think are actually sitting out there in the holler?
well, you do remember where I work, right?
Okay, but what I'm saying, I'm talking about the towers.
Oh, I checked I can see the towers. There's not very many out there.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
That's where I was going. Okay. So still,
But it is better than what she had.
okay. So how was YouTube being watched on the 15th?
That's Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Okay, but the Wi-Fi wasn't allegedly working. So how did they watch it?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean Wi-Fi wasn't working? I have not heard that theory.
If the phone that she had didn't work, how was the Wi-Fi in the house or wherever working?
Wi-Fi was working. Her cell phone service, she didn't have any cell phone service to call 911.
Okay.
That's why she had to use grandma's AT&T phone to call 911.
Okay. So so the cell service still got to work even if you don't even have the phone turned on, even dial 911.
Correct. Until we take the towers down, you'll be able to still call 911 until February. So, but
it still seems like to me Wi-Fi would be tricky out there as well. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, some towers, like we'll just say she's with Verizon. There may be some spotty Verizon service, but if they can't get a signal to that tower, they still can't call 911 because there's nothing there to connect to. That's why even AT&T is really spotty out there, but you can get better service to be able to call 911. Like hers, I understand that part because that's what I do.
Okay.
If there's no tower to Verizon, maybe she could walk to her front porch and get signal, but maybe where she was standing, she couldn't.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys have been in a spot where there's no service.
Well, I know. See, I already know about AT&T in the state of Tennessee. Period. This was an area anywhere in the rural area in the whole state years ago, around 2007, 2000. Well, I'm gonna go back as far as 2006 because we had an issue with AT&T in the general, the whole damn state. Lord. They didn't want to give service to people in rural areas. Period. I mean, this had to go to legislation and all that. So that's what I'm saying about the Wi-Fi. What's the situation with the Wi-Fi at the house at that time?
Because it makes no sense. She would have a phone this long with small kids that didn't work.
I thought she was having issues. I was just assuming that Wi-Fi was an issue as well.
No, because depending on which phone she has, even if she was using Wi-Fi calling, if you guys know what that is,
yeah,
a lot of phones don't.
Well, yeah, my phone does it automatically, switches over, which has been a very big problem.
That only started on iPhone 10 and above, and then a lot of Androids have it. So it depends on which phone she has. Even if she was using Wi-Fi calling, and she set up her E911 address, she could have called.
Okay.
But if she didn't have that set up, which I doubt it, I just really doubt it.
So if you so let's go here. So if you also having problems with, I'm gonna say it again, if you've had problems with your phone service, depending on who her phone service was with on the 15th, 14th, whatever, you don't think also there's been an issue with Wi-Fi?
No, that's two different services. That's two different.
Right, it is. But I'm just still saying they're still out they're still far out. They're not like they're in the city limits.
Now I would have to say where they're at. Now this I can't verify. But I would say probably where they're at, they're probably going on satellite internet to get their Wi-Fi. And we all know that's spotty.
Right, that's what I was going to say. And did we even remember seeing a satellite out there?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at the house again. There's too much junk out there.
Well, Lauren asked a great question. She said, well, how did she call Dunn first with no service?
She did that through Facebook Messenger using the Wi-Fi.
So that means the Wi-Fi was working then?
That's what I said. She said something about the Wi-Fi not working. I'm like, I've never heard the Wi-Fi wasn't working that day.
Well, I was just wondering. Maybe that's just me, just putting it in with the phone service.
Right. And a lot of people do that. I get calls all day. Like the last call I had last night was from Tennessee, and that's where I was checking the tower. It is very spotty. You'll have a ton of them all in one little spot, but you go out about 10 miles and there ain't nothing.
Yeah. Well, I was already told that from a source about the service out in that area was not good. for cell phone service. Didn't say nothing about the Wi-Fi, but I was just assuming in my head that Wi-Fi would probably maybe be an issue too, because they're so far out back in there.
Well, I would, like I said, I'd have to say that they definitely probably have satellite, and if you ever use satellite internet, which I'm sure you have, it's crappy, and it can't use you cannot use Wi-Fi calling over a satellite because it will not work.
Okay.
It doesn't transpire right on a satellite.
Well, when they made the host call, where do you think she was?
Me? Which I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah. When she made the phone call to Mary, where do you think she was?
She's probably inside, but she got new phones. So
I'm just asking in general. Just a general question.
Well, if you go off the way she's talking, she said she was inside. She was at least on the property.
Okay.
She was probably inside or outside, but at that point, again, there's pictures of her outside of AT&T because everybody's mad that she used the money to get her new phone.
Yeah,
So she would have
I heard that.
All the new phones have Wi-Fi calling now.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask Savannah. Savannah, are you with us?
Oh yeah, I'm here.
You believe she was on the property when she made the phone call to Mary?
I do.
Okay. And Night Out, you too?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to bring it up, but I have a question, which we've done proven that call was fake. Don even said it, so on and so forth.
Now, what did he say that, Rags?
On that you can't mention channels. There was a phone call where he called.
Yeah, you go ahead and mention it because we're on the topic. Just go on and say it and be done with it.
I can't get back to it. It was True Crime Commentary, I think is the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, the lady said he called her 30 minutes after that, dying laughing, and said, "What's that call I could say now?"
Who did he call laughing?
Crap, who was that?
It's a YouTuber. That's what you're trying to say?
No, I don't think it was a YouTuber. It was a friend of his that he's talking to, but she's connected to the YouTuber.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about too.
Oh Lord! So now we go back to that. So now it's she said.
My whole question, real quick, before I forget it, is he said it was a reasonable. Okay, where's this neighbor coming from swearing that they saw the cops? If it was a lie. Anybody know about that?
We're just listening.
Say that again.
Well, I'm just listening.
Well, I thought it was the cartel, the mafia. That's who I thought it was when I listened to the call. I thought she said police and mafia. So I don't know who it was. I thought it was Pablo there. That's what I thought.
Okay.
At the very beginning, she said, the police came here and they got Donnie. And then as you go into the call, she starts talking about the mafia. And then she says at the end, the police are here and they want me to get off the phone. Mm-hmm. So, but my point was the neighbor says she was up at 2:00 in the morning and she heard the whole ruckus that woke her up.
Somebody saying it's on Spirit Secret Squad and AB's channel. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering about that one because I was trying to find some receipts to that one and I hadn't found anything yet.
Oh, what are you saying? A neighbor is saying they saw the police up at the property.
Yeah. So, there's so many channels out there. I'm trying to say that it was either J for Justice or Zab or whatever. We're supposed to even have the neighbor on, but she was in a wreck and said that she personally saw the police at that house. Now, whether it was,
you got to remember, you can't see the house from the road.
No, it was the lady where they have to pass to get up to her house. That house that's sitting right there.
So, what time did this take place?
She said it was about 1:30. But
so 1:30 in the morning, she was up. So what? Sitting on her front porch?
No, she said they woke her up.
Sirens.
The noise.
This don't make no sense.
I was just hoping somebody knew that was.
You know, this don't make no sense, right?
Say that again.
It don't.
This don't make no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. That's why I didn't know if there was something out there I missed.
The only time you're gonna know that somebody was going up there is you were already on the road. You got a direct path to look at the road and see the police going up there. But once they hit up the drive, they're out of sight.
Right.
And the only way there would be sirens is if there was a imminent threat happening at the time of the call to law enforcement, to where they have the sirens on.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to know if anybody found anything.
So that means you'd already had a story that broke with the news by now.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I was wondering. I just wanted to know.
Lord have mercy. I give up with these folks.
I kid. Yeah. It's hilarious to me because I just said the other night, I said about a weekend something else is gonna happen, and just so happened this call came in to Mary at 12 a.m. If I'm not mistaken, Mary said the call was at 12 a.m.
Okay.
Wow.
So 12 a.m. with Mary and one something with the neighbor verifying
Right.
that how the police go up there. Well, this was a long-winded scenario, whatever took place up there.
It sure was, girl.
So at 12 a.m., somebody called her saying the police there, but it's not until 1 o'clock the neighbor saw the cars go there. So which is
Exactly. That's why I was wondering.
somebody lying.
I'm starting to wonder about them neighbors too now.
Me too. Because Mary said the call came in at 12, so the police was there at 12 according
Well, we gotta
to
remember one
Candy
thing, we on Eastern time, so where's Mary?
Ain't Mary in Utah?
That's what I was thinking.
So that'd be an hour behind, hour to two, depending on where you're talking about in the Pacific Northwest. Because Arizona is about what, 2-3 hours behind the California. I think Arizona's on California time. That's 3 hours behind us. But the neighbor's gonna be on our time.
Right.
I'm probably gonna open up another window, but what do y'all think about this Mary? All of a sudden she's there. He's got her glasses because she left them, and now they're talking to her all of a sudden.
Well, we already discussed that on my live the other day. We chopped that up real fine.
Okay, then I ain't gonna go there.
No, you go there. It doesn't matter. We already chopped it up. All of it's suspicious.
Just suspicious that way.
Utah is on Mountain Daytime.
Okay.
Utah is on Mountain Daytime.
Okay. So she would still be an hour to two behind us, depending on where she was, about 2 hours behind. Mary would be if she's in Utah. Well, somebody can Google it and see what the time is. The point is she'd be behind us. So if it was 10 there, and then 2 hours behind, of course, it'd be 12 here.
The only time I remember hearing was Chris said that Mary thought it was enough to wake him up at 1 o'clock.
Shaydoc's in Utah right now. It's 1:40, so it's 3:40 here. Okay, they're 2 hours behind. So that would explain the time discrepancy.
Yeah,
but not for the neighbor though.
What time is it? What time is it in Tennessee?
So she said 12 o'clock. Then that means it was later in Tennessee. That means it was 2.
2.
So it was 2 in the morning instead. Then. The plot thickens.
It keep on thickening, and I'm here for it.
So it was 2 in the morning. All this went down in Tennessee time. On Tennessee time. Lord have mercy.
Would that put the neighbor more right when she was saying
1 to
1:30?
Might be.
So maybe the neighbor was still true.
Okay, but we still don't have no confirmation from anybody that allegedly is affiliated with law enforcement that this happened.
Right.
That anything happened, rather.
Actually, we got the opposite. They're all saying absolutely not.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Nobody is saying that the man was arrested, taken in, and then like somebody in chat said, well, law enforcement don't have to tell you they came there and took him in. Yeah, we know that. But if somebody was arrested for something domesticated, it would make the register. Why would they want to keep it a secret because you got arrested? Police don't care nothing about what nobody think in the street about you getting arrested.
Remember, the call was about money. Remember, that's when she kept telling Mary it was about money.
Oh, okay. See, I can understand the phone call.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been domesticated. It's supposed to be about the money from the mafia, and they was beating him, and they was gonna kill him.
Oh, wow! I kind of out that phone call.
Yeah, I listened to it, so that's why I was waiting on everybody. It just get better and better for me.
I want to say I do agree with you on that one because I feel like the phone call was directed to make that point specifically about the money and the so-called.
I couldn't decipher anything with the blubbering. I just got lost in translation. One stick, I couldn't get up. I just couldn't grab anything off the conversation.
Let me ask a question about that. Say the cops did go up there just because somebody complained about the noise. Would that be like?
Well, what would the noise be, Rags? What would the noise be?
Well, okay, we're just gonna pretend that the neighbor's thing was true, okay?
Okay.
And then the cops woke her up, by going up there. Maybe they were outside drunk and hollering and blah blah blah. Would they just went up if they had just went up there just to make sure everything was okay because somebody called because there was too much noise? Would that be a record? I mean, would they have said anything about that? Would they have said, "Hey, no, we went up
No,
there and checked on it, but nobody was arrested"?
only thing that'll be on record is that a call came into dispatch about a disturbance.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, not an arrest per se, but a disturbance call. Disturbance. Now, that's public information. I'm assuming you probably could verify that. Now, maybe the police would go ahead and verify and say, well, there was a disturbance call on that day.
I'm not good at that. I tried to look at
Location.
it on Google, and then it just kept leading me into that where you pay $9.99 to see records.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so nobody even has record that there was a disturbance call.
that's why I was wondering if they would have said that on the news. There was a disturbance, but we didn't arrest. If they would have said something like that.
Yeah, and see, and I'm thinking about that too. Why not just volunteer? Well, there was a disturbance call, but there was no arrest. Very interesting.
I have something to say. Maybe they used the neighbor in that aspect of trying to make the whole Donnie was taken believable, because we have a witness, so maybe they just used the neighbor at that.
Or we have somebody just wanting to get them 5 minutes too.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Because it seems to me that's what everybody's doing in this story about Summer Wells, and it's pathetic.
Yep. But
the winner is.
I believe that there's more behind the money conversation. There has to be a reason why she came out and did that.
And
because
why
well, before that alleged fake phone call, there had already been the messages from Don and that other woman about $50,000. So maybe there was already someone wondering where he had gotten this money. So in his own mind, he has to come up with a plan to think, who can I say borrowed me the money that they would not be able to trace? Why would they choose the Mexican mafia?
Okay, so you basically let me get this correct. So you all believe this man has $50,000 in his bank, or he had access to some money?
Nope.
No.
So what are y'all saying? I'm confused.
Distractions. These are games. These people playing reindeer games.
Some of you think the call is because of the woman giving him information about this genie person filing charges, which still that makes no sense. I'm not going to call and tell you nothing. This is becoming a low-rated Lifetime movie. This is shit they do on TV. Call people to say, "Hey, George, just want to call and let you know I called the law. They're coming to your house in 5 minutes." Or they're on their way with an indictment. See where I'm going?
That's what I think.
This is TV stuff. Only in TV do they call people to say, "Hey, I filed charges against you. Hey, the police is coming." This is TV stuff.
Right. That's where Mary's call to me went sideways because she was
no sane person would do that.
She was all good and blah blah blah, and then she goes, and just so you know, she's gonna let him know about us. And
right? Why would I do
Why
that?
would she do that? She's like, I don't know, Donnie.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes no logical sense to tell the wolf anything. You let the wolf be surprised.
That's where that credibility is.
Bear comes down the damn mountain. You don't go tell the wolf a damn thing.
Not nothing.
And all that apologizing, I'm sorry. I don't care what nobody say. That whole conversation was whack on both ends, and that's my personal opinion.
Very much so.
Very whack. Because you couldn't call and
very
tell me
much fake
Donnie. You couldn't call and tell me nothing about Donnie when I've been out here blabbering my mouth about him to a YouTuber. Plus, plural.
Yep.
Why would I care about anything pertaining to him? Brother, stepbrother, however it go. I just got through bad mouthing the man but now I want to open my phone and listen to what he has to say? Does this make any sense?
I said that the last video, and people couldn't understand why I said it. I said, does this make sense to y'all? That it came, oh my God, my sister, and it was traumatic. But then talk to him and explain it and all this kind of
Straight Doc
stuff.
has
I
the
was
best
like,
comment in the chat. And why would you let that play out on the YT? Thank
what
you.
I tell you, Shay, what I tell you, boo, money.
That's the number one question. Why would you let this play out on YouTube? All this he said, she said, allegations of SA, speculations of the children being sexually assaulted by the parents. Y'all see where I'm going with this?
Yep.
Why is this a YouTube soap opera?
Money. 5 minutes of fame.
Lord.
Yeah, follow the money.
What you say, Savannah?
I said, they're following the money.
And where is the money? And what money are y'all talking about?
Well, I just want to say one thing. This is honestly just from my perspective and thoughts about it. I believe that when Don mentioned that 50,000 in that message to that woman, I believe that he was drunk. And you can take advantage of people when they're drinking because they tell the truth. And when he said that 50,000, he did a LOL. So he was kind of like laughing about it. And then he realized that this woman put all that out. So then he had to come up with something in his mind to be able to say something about the money. That's why they took it to that extreme, because I mean, look, there's a 5-year-old child missing, and then almost 3 months later there's talk of a very large amount of money. So you have to really put that into perspective, you know.
I'm saying it because
I'm still confused.
Once something tragic happens, people are more sensitive to say, well, what do you need? What can I give you? Can I give you gift cards? Can I send you something? Can I do this? Because the people that were rallying for Donnie even came out in a video saying that they had people sending them stuff when this first happened. They said it out of their own mouth. They had gift cards, they had Amazons, they had all kind of stuff sent to Candy Cane and Donnie.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say about this money. I'm off about this.
We have to think, why randomly would he just start talking about this to some lady that he thought he trusted? I mean, he told the lady that he loved her and he doesn't even know her. Come on now.
So what's the context of the conversation about the money? Somebody have to repeat it to me again, because I'm utterly lost.
I just feel there's way more behind it, that it was kind of like a slip, kind of, right? Because he was obviously drunk. So there has to be more meaning behind this amount of money when a child is missing, and then a large amount of money is being talked about. Can't people, we kind of just try and put two and two together. That's where I'm getting at that. I believe.
So he told this woman on the phone that he borrowed money. Is that what y'all had been saying?
It was, I guess, through a messages. It was, I can't remember what video I saw it on, but they had posted this conversation through messages.
Excuse me. Okay. So I'm still confused. 50,000 is in what context? Somebody have to repeat it to me. What's the context of the 50,000?
Borrowed that amount of money from
that
someone.
He owed it to somebody.
Yeah, that was what the message said.
The lady asked, you know what happened to Summer? Has anybody left your life that since she's left that used to be in your life? Did you owe anybody money?
I see where you're going now. Okay,
That's what I think. $50,000. LOL.
So he said I owe somebody 50,000.
Yeah.
So basically, he's saying whoever he owed the money to, they came and got the child.
Well, his exact word was borrowed. But I'll let Savannah go.
I bought the money, and they came and got it because I still owe them money. Because somebody said he paid 30, right?
Yep.
Right. So he did it that he owed 30 allegedly to who? The cartel or the Mexican mafia? Which one?
The mafia.
So you gonna tell a person verbatim that you were in cahoots with dope dealers and borrowed money from them. This is what we're saying.
That's what we say.
So now you let the
But
police know that you was involved with trafficking or drugs or borrowed from people, whether you traffic drugs, didn't traffic, didn't use. You borrowed money. Why?
because you good for it. I don't know.
No, I'm just asking.
Well, that's I kind of
No,
have
when
a
I tell
question.
somebody I borrowed money from them, for what reason did I borrow the money?
It
That's
doesn't
kind
make
of
any sense.
on Savannah and Night Out. If you guys both saw it, you saw the text where he said, "I borrowed 50,000 LOL," and she said, "You did from who?" But then you didn't see. Did you see where he said the mafia? Because it was just told. I didn't see that text from him. Did you?
Okay. So this is why I say that I think people are just putting what they want in and out of these conversations. See, Don telling Chris that mess a long time ago about what he got in trouble for is what spins all this Mexican mafia cartel talk. You see, you wouldn't even know nothing about that had he not told you he trafficked drugs allegedly. Let me say that allegedly back when. So that's
Actually,
what started this cartel talk. It's his own words of saying, I traffic drugs. So now you all are throwing that into the pot, some of you, when really, I don't think he's in told nobody that.
truthfully, Don said out of Don's mouth was he tried to traffic. He said you can't traffic when you can't stop using.
Right, and that's why I had said that before. I don't see how that was possible.
Yeah.
So I think people are taking that comment that was mentioned in the interview and putting it into now the Summer Wells case.
As with the essay.
Yes, as with the essay, because somebody came forward saying, well, he touched me at 5, he touched me at 12, then that means he's done it to these children here, which we have to say, if you touch kids as a child, you do have a propensity to possibly grow up as a pedophile yourself, but you got to have a receipt that he is a child molester as an adult, not as a child. You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
So you got to have a receipt. So everything everybody's bringing up is just really from his conversations and is what these people are making of allegations against him.
Right.
But ain't no receipts.
And I just don't want to put SK on Sam Summer's name, so that's why I try to stay.
Yeah, that's why I say it, because that's why I keep telling people, bring a receipt that he was touching children and or his own children.
That's what I'm saying. The only thing we have for facts is the fact that grandma went to the hospital. There obviously has to be a Walgreens receipt.
Yes.
There has, and we see the picture.
Justin,
and then,
why you gonna keep going down my chat saying no? What's your problem? What's up? Go ahead, Rags.
And then you see the Facebook post at 6:05 and 6:06 and 911. Anything else can be a lie. I mean, listen to them.
Yeah,
They had the whole world
believe anything. That's what I'm saying. You can't believe anything that these people have said, because I always go back to day one, which is the dispatch call. That's all I need. All this other stuff is just fluff.
Now I listened.
Go ahead.
I listened to the dispatch call.
Mm-hmm.
The dispatch themselves kind of messed it up because the call came in and said mom went for a walk. Yeah, if you listen to it, the call comes in and says mom went for a walk, and then the guy comes in and says, "You said mom went for a run," and the dispatch said yes. So then it went from a walk to a run, which was a big thing for a month, and that was the dispatch. Because
either way you look at it, if Candace is trying to say I left the property in my car, because we do say run as in we drove the car, like I made a quick run. Right. So get run can mean she went and got in her car. That still is jacked up, because that means you left your kids unattended in that house and the mother over in her own trailer. 9 times out of 10, she don't ever go in that house for nothing. And she sure ain't going there to watch them kids. So then where did you go? By foot or car?
But I mean, the world went nuts when they were like, look, the dispatch did it. She said walk and then she said run, and it was crazy. It's not that big of a difference. It's the same
thing. Not gonna matter. It's really not gonna matter if it was by foot or by car.
Right.
As you left the property, where did you go? And did you have your child in tow with you? And you are lying about her going missing at the house. Now you've retracted that run, walk to she just got missing. See where I'm going? That's what you tell the news people. Then, like somebody said, nobody said she went missing from inside. She really said she got missing from outside. She got missing from the property. So one can use the property as in general. She got missing in general from the said location, which means in the grandmama's trailer, inside the house, and or outside playing. See, it depends on your interpretation, how you want to look at it. Because property is a general word, property.
In my opinion, by watching this and staying up for 2 or 3 months every night doing it, basically we're trying to interpret lies. I mean, and you can't interpret lies. You can't put lies in a timeline. I mean, it's like banging your head up against the wall.
Okay. Donna J says, I believe the sister Rose is alive. They split the reward money. She changed her identity, and now they're trying it again with the help of friends. But how are you going to get a reward money for somebody in Rose's? Rose has never been surfaced, so they couldn't have gotten the reward money or she would come forward. They would have been able to prove she's alive, and somebody got the money for Rose. That don't really make any sense. What reward money? Neither has surfaced for someone to be given the reward money in either case.
If Rose is still alive, that's just because Rose decided to get away from that family and leave on her own.
But she wouldn't leave her kids. I don't think she'd have left her kids.
People do it, though.
Because what?
Because they can.
Well, I'm just saying from what was told about her and her children, they said she would have not left her kids.
I know.
I'm just going by what the family said.
That's why I said if.
She wouldn't be the type to leave her kids. Well, very interesting.
And the plot thickens.
And like everybody's like, you know, they show no emotion and blah blah blah, and they don't. But you also got to think they're not like me. I have my 2 kids. I've had my 2 kids my whole life. She's already put 3 kids up for adoption. I mean, that's got to do something to her mentally. Between both of them, they've already lost 6 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So you get numb to that, I guess. Just like in my family, I've already lost over 30 people between COVID and cancer and everything since I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get numb. Here goes another one, you know? So I wonder if that's where some of the, even though I think they're evil.
Yeah.
But some of the no emotion is just like, you know, it's just another one gone.
Well, my thing is, you all are saying this in the chat about Don wanting to know who leaked information. What is the secret exactly?
Supposedly, that's what that phone call to Mary was about. He wanted to find. That's what he said in that thing, that he wanted to know.
But how hard would the options be?
Will leak.
Think about what you're saying.
I didn't hear
The
what you said.
leak is the 2 people that got this party started.
He's saying he called to get information. They're on YouTube talking. So what are your options? Any, many. Help me out.
I was just
Money, mo.
Right. So why do we need to play checkers and cards to figure out who's giving Chris information? This makes no sense. The stuff that you all be coming up with, I'm sorry, it's odd and weird to me.
The people that got the party started.
They made a fake phone call that he's going to prison, jail. The mafia got a big toe because he's trying to figure out who's talking to Chris. Yet they're on YouTube talking. Excuse me, where's the mystery? Come on, y'all. Really?
Come on.
You can't make sense out of lies.
I mean, I'm just saying, what is it that y'all trying to figure out? Don's trying to figure out who's calling Chris. Well, let's think about that for just a second. Your sisters have been on the box talking, and you're trying to figure out, get this married person to tell you something that's already been this don't make no sense. I don't understand how y'all be coming up with this stuff.
Well, you're trying to understand the mind of a narcissist, for one, and for two, like when he went off on Chris about exposing his job and how he's going to get fired. He done exposed himself a month ago when he said the company's name 3 times. So
the thing is, you were going to get this anyway because your child is missing. People are going to run your name. They're going to Google your name. And anything that comes up felonious, negative, people are going to repeat it. Then somebody else is going to repeat it. Then somebody else is going to repeat it. So that is to be expected when you are in a case of somebody missing or deceased. That's just the way it is. 2, your big girlfriend got the ball crunk when she started telling the stories about Candace and the hot basement and locking the child in the room. That was the start of the gossip. So then people spun from that. Then they started digging in dresser drawers and cabinets, pulling up all type of lint balls, mothballs pertaining to the wells. Because that's what people do. They ramble, as my mother used to say. Rambling in people's dresser drawers, pulling out all their dirty socks and undergarments. You see, if you didn't have a criminal record, Don, it wouldn't be nothing to talk about. If you allegedly didn't touch somebody, there'd be nothing for somebody to repeat about that. See where I'm going? You literally have to just be making up stuff about them. Same thing with the church. You weren't going to the church, popping up in there. Nobody would have went digging in that church archives to see videos of y'all at the church. Just saying. Somebody said Don better watch himself or he will get necktie, putting the mafia, etc. in this mess. Well, I mean, see, that's the thing. We don't even know what's the truth. Y'all still here? Everybody muted.
We were just listening to you.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. But that's everything we've been saying.
But you understand what I'm saying? Everything that has been told is things that are true as far as the criminal record. That's not something you can hide. And then these allegations are coming from this Jeannie and Mary person. So,
well, when you're on the phone with people giving your life story, I'm trying to understand what you talking about, where the leak coming from. You are the leak. What are you talking about? The woman said she was on the phone with Dunn for 15 to 17 hours a day. And I said, wait a minute, what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of weird to me, but hey.
Yeah. Well, this is.
Hey, Savannah, what do you feel happened this summer?
Oh, am I really allowed to say what I think?
You on the panel? What you mean?
Okay. Well, I was actually just thinking about expressing what I feel possibly happened. In my opinion,
you're entitled to say.
I feel like Summer was actually not ever really, she wasn't wanted, right? Because Candace didn't want a girl. Okay. So I feel like they had made this plan since they found out it was a girl, that they were gonna.
She's 5.
Well, people have issues. And I feel
long time. I mean, let's just think about that though. 5 years is a long time that you already decided you didn't want the girl when you realized you was pregnant with a girl. At some point, if she was getting health care, she knew she was having a girl if she got the ultrasound done. So you could have, you know what I'm saying? You could have went to the chopping block.
Well,
babies are worth much more money than a 5-year-old.
I believe that they kept her because you guys remember when Donald even said that Summer was connected to him for the first 18 months of her life. Well, when have you ever heard that in your lives? Have you ever heard that a father has taken care of the baby since day one for the first 18 months? No. I mean, that's supposed to be the mother's job. The mother is supposed to have that, skin one-on-one contact, to have that bond. And Candace never did that for Summer. And it was Don. I believe that he.
Go ahead, keep talking. Savannah? I can't hear you, honey. Hello?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Well, I had added another person that was coming up on the stream, and so it must have blocked out your volume because I couldn't hear what you were saying. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I feel, in my opinion, that he was grooming Summer from the age, very, very young age, to prepare.
So I want to ask you something. If you had never heard about Jeannie and Mary's story, would you still be saying what you're saying?
To be honest with you, yes, because coming from someone that has experienced, all different types of abuse, you can kind of, have like where people you'll hear where we kind of have like a radar for it. We can kind of sense it in other people, and seeing, photos of Summer and seeing, just looking into her eyes and photos, and you just literally could see just the pain and sadness, and just I feel that those are just from what I've gotten from the beginning, from looking at her pictures. And then everything else falling into place after that, when it came about that Jose guy was a SO and up on the property at the house, then that kind of put it more into place for me and what I felt.
Where she's at, like, I've never been essayed or been around it, but even looking at the pictures of the way she holds herself in those pictures made me think. And if, like Savannah, she's been in it. So I would imagine that maybe they got that instinct before Dawn talked about it. Because I did, and I've never been around it. Just by seeing how she's always holding herself.
Okay, see, I never really paid attention to that, her pictures, because I just don't be on social media like that. Facebook and stuff. So I didn't never study her photographs. I've seen them, but not just sat and looked at that, what you all are talking about. Okay.
I just seen it, like, how they had the little flyers up and pictures of her, and every time she's holding herself, like she has to pee. And like every one of them.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And even, I don't know if you noticed, but there's this, a couple of different photos where you can see on Summer's face where she has the tiniest little red marks, like tiny. And one of them is right there on her cheek. And the photo that you can see the best in is in the IHOP photo where Summer's sitting at IHOP, and you can see the tiniest little red dot. And you think, what could be that small to make that mark? And the first thing that comes to my mind is a needle. And yes, it sounds, why would that?
You really going way out there. A needle.
Yeah, I went bed bugs. She thought needles.
Yeah. I'm like you. Bug bites. They're around pets all day. They're not clean.
A mark though, it's really, really tiny. And you can see them underneath her chin as well.
Okay. All right.
That's just
not out. You mind stepping down? I'm gonna let Justin come up here and speak, okay? Because he's in the box.
Yeah.
Not out. Okay. Let me let Justin say something. Hold on, you guys. Justin. Well, I don't know. Justin. Well, I don't know. Go ahead. He wouldn't say anything.
She was talking about the marks. I mean, my opinion, I just thought maybe bed bugs, fleas.
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Yeah.
Hello, Jackie. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining me. Well, I'm 2 hours and 28 minutes. I'm going to probably wrap this up, but very interesting. Very, very interesting. Anything you all like to say before I check out of here?
I kind of like to say something, but I don't know if I can. It's about another channel. And
I don't know. Justin has talked before. I never had Justin up here before. It doesn't matter. I'm not well on the negative stuff in the chat because I don't have that kind of time. Rags, why are you afraid to say something now?
Well, it's not a bad thing about a channel. I was just in Chasing Truth channel the other day, and a lady.
Slow down. Whose channel?
Okay. Chasing Truth.
Okay.
She's awesome. She does the whiteboard, goes through minute by minute. But anyways, a lady that lives in Maine, She has a home. It's a farm. She raises bees on it to take care of the home, and she takes in um I don't know how to say it, trafficking. There we go, trafficking
Okay.
children,
Okay.
and they're foreclosing on her home and trying to take their home away.
Okay.
And if anybody could look at that on Chasing's website and maybe give to save that home for those kids, like she goes to court with them. And one of the stories that broke my heart, one of the little girls that she took in couldn't sleep in the bed because it was too soft, and she kept finding her under the bed on the floor because
Okay.
all of her life she's been stuck, you know, on the floor. It
Okay.
just it broke my heart. And
Okay. Well, let me ask you this: why is the woman losing her house?
because it's just her, and like she's raising a bee farm, and with COVID, nobody was buying, and she's just got behind.
Oh, on a mortgage, you mean?
You have to hear the story, but and she was only asking, like, she needed 6,000, and she only was asking for like 300. You know, well, actually, she didn't even put up the GoFundMe. Her boss did for her, and she didn't want the money.
Okay.
She's like, God will figure it out. God will figure it out.
Okay.
And it was just really one of those things that maybe look at, if anybody could look at it. It was just broke my heart.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I thank you all for joining me. I don't want to stay on too much longer because I want people to be able to come in and not have to stay for hours watching the live. But most of you know, a few people have uploaded content pertaining to the video again of the day the child went missing, and she's in the backseat of the car. So everything's up for interpretation. If indeed this was of that same day, June 15th, which H and Allie are verifying that picture's accurate. There were milk jugs in the said car. The issue is the photograph itself, the picture, the video of the two poles, the doghouse, whatever is outside on that street. If we're to believe what the grandmother has said on social media, that photo was taken 1 hour and a half out from the house, how could that be when that photograph, that location is close to the said house? So was Candace going home at the time that video was filmed, or was she coming from the house? So if she was coming from the house, that would be very suspect, because then we have to ask ourselves, did you come home from Kingsport with the said milk, child, grandmother in the car, went home, did what exactly, and then came back out with the same milk jugs in the car? Why wouldn't you have put those milk jugs inside of the house? Why would you go back to the house from Kingsport, not unload the car, not unload the grandmother, not unload the child, and keep the milk in the car? So could it be that this is an actual photograph of them on their way home from Kingsport after leaving the store, after leaving H, and they were going where exactly when they filmed that? Because if we're to believe that they were on their way home, that would make sense, because that photograph of those poles is near that house. So are we saying they were on their way home? But that contradicts the grandmother saying the picture was taken an hour away from the house. So what is the truth? I'm just coming to the conclusion, as I've already thought in the beginning, when these people started doing interviews and YouTube interviews, they're liars. They have something to hide pertaining to the child and June 15th. Nothing is the truth with TikTok videos, photos, pics, upload of pics. They're just liars. And if you keep on dissecting this SHIT, you're just banging your head against a damn wall, a brick wall at that, because you're never going to get to the truth of June 15th. You don't know what to believe about June 15th. You don't know if the child was dead or alive in the backseat of the car. You don't know if that picture was used as a ruse to prove that they had the child. The fact that she had on long sleeve clothes, once again, that's a main issue too. It's hot as hell here in Tennessee. Even at 80 degrees, it's hot. So why is she dressed like that? Jacket, perhaps, if she was cool from coming from the water, but not the pants. It's just a ruse to get her gone, drop her off somewhere, sell her, barter, whatever, loan, or just to discard her in full clothes. Maybe they had some type of, I don't even want to say a heart that day. I'm going to discard her, but I'm going to at least put her in full clothes to dump her. See, you don't know, because you don't know what is the truth. I want to thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel and the dream of everyday shenanigans, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Thank you for the donations during the live stream. When I get more content pertaining to this riveting story out of Rogersville, I will bring you said information and uploads. Please follow my content pertaining to Robert Sylvester Kelly. The U.S. has a federal trial against Mr. Robert Kelly, and he is standing account on racketeering and said human trafficking charges as well, trafficking children across state lines. Please follow the content and my other uploads pertaining to missing people, true crime, and various topics. Thank you all so very much. I might go later live tonight with a hypothetical. It won't have anything to do with any stories that I am talking about currently. Thank you, Janet, so much for the super chat. I'll probably do a hypothetical tonight, and it won't have anything to do with any cases because I haven't done any hypothetical topics in a while. So I think it's time that I get back into talking about random topics instead of the breaking news topics. But I thank you all for following the content and like, sharing, subscribing. Thank you so much. Thank you for my new subscribers. God bless all of you. Thank you, Miss Savannah. Thank you, Rags. Thank you all, Night Owl, for joining me. You all be safe. Have a wonderful holiday. Be good. If you see something, say something. And prayers for Chad Carr and Deshina Kyle. They're still missing out of East Tennessee. And Mindy Lowe is the proprietor of the foundation where Chad was last seen. Make her stand account. Thank you all. God bless all of you. This is Everyday Shenanigans.